Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Highlands Shelby Park Library right here at Mid-City Mall in the heart of the Highlands on Bardstown Road. Like all of our libraries, this is a wonderful resource for our neighborhood, and we've got lots of reasons to celebrate our libraries recently. We had an amazing summer reading program with over 400,000 total books read between 26,000 students, the most in nearly a decade to enjoy our libraries. We have renovations that are going on, reopenings, including the Parkland Library, which just finished its first summer after renovations and reopening. Fern Creek Library under construction, Portland Library being renovated, Main Library getting ready to be renovated, new sensory kits that are making our libraries more accessible. And thanks to our new budget and support of Councilman Reno Weber and his colleagues, $1 million in matching funds for additional books and materials. So thanks so much to everyone from our Louisville Free Public Library team and the team here at Highlands Shelby Park Library for hosting us today. We have great things that are going on in all of our libraries. We've had a great week here in Louisville, and it's only Tuesday. Just yesterday, we had a wonderful announcement where Ford Motor Company investing $2 billion in our community, securing 2,200 jobs for the future. An announcement that incorporated innovation, new production, new advanced manufacturing. I want to give a giant thanks to everyone who took part in helping make this happen. Thanks to LEDA, the Louisville Economic Development Alliance, and its CEO, Trevor Paul, to Jeff O'Brien and our economic development team, to Governor Beshear and everyone with the Commonwealth of Kentucky who worked so hard to truly make Louisville the center of the universe when it comes to EV car production. And we are excited to see what this means for our future. It is going to create thousands of new, good-paying jobs in all sorts of different sectors that are truly setting the stage for an exciting decade to come. I also want to start by giving a thanks to all of our first responders, to our community members, and all the officers who promptly responded after two horrible crimes end of last week. One, a shooting that occurred at a bus stop on the first day of school. Another that involved the kidnapping and a robbery of a mother and her children. Thanks to our community reaching out to LMPD and providing us with information, law enforcement from LMPD and other departments were able to quickly apprehend individuals who are responsible for these crimes. And so again, I want to say thank you to our community and to our first responders. And speaking of public safety, that is what brings us here to this library, because right outside is Bardstown Road. And Bardstown Road is one of Louisville's thriving streets with great shops, bars, restaurants, surrounded by wonderful neighborhoods. Unfortunately, earlier this summer, our attention was here for the wrong reasons. We had a couple of unruly crowds here late at night and in the early morning who blocked traffic, disturbed neighbors, and caused a variety of other public safety issues. Well, here at Louisville Metro Government, public safety is our number one priority, and we will not tolerate that behavior. We will not tolerate that on Bardstown Road. We will not tolerate that anywhere in our city. So we met with the community. We got lots of great feedback, and we got to work on a new multifaceted approach to ensure public safety on Bardstown Road. And we've taken significant action to make improvements. We've increased the police presence, including visible LMPD cruisers throughout the area. Officers are now walking the area to build relationships and deter criminal activity. Businesses are blocking their parking lots overnight to prevent gatherings that have caused disturbances in the past, while we tow unauthorized vehicles that are parked in other private lots. Food trucks that have caused congestion, street spillover, and blocked paths are being moved. We're working with bars to change their security line designs so patrons aren't blocking sidewalks. We're actively dispersing individuals who are gathered in front of businesses and around parked cars. And patrols are taking place all around the neighborhood to make sure that everyone leaves once the bars are closed. And like we do in response to so many other situations, collaboration is taking place. I want to give a giant thanks to Major Mason Brown and his colleagues at LMPD for working in partnership in a new joint enforcement detail with Director Brad Silvera and his colleagues at ABC. that are working hard together during our business's busiest times on Bardstown Road to prevent inappropriate behavior from taking place. I also want to thank Misty Wright, our executive director of community safety in my office, who's been collaborating with them and other departments throughout Louisville Metro government to find many ways that we can continue to work together to improve safety here and elsewhere around our city. The joint enforcement detail between LMPD and ABC, in that detail, LMPD handles the issues on the streets and the sidewalks, while ABC makes sure that our businesses and food trucks are compliant with the rules that keep our neighborhoods safe. As you can tell, we've taken meaningful steps in a short period of time. Just this last weekend, there were 7 citations that were issued and 15 cars were towed. And we are going to keep our foot on the gas pedal. We're going to continue doing this work and other things to ensure safety here on Bardstown Road and all neighborhoods across our city. And now, as we move forward, once again, we want to hear from the community. To serve or sell liquor, businesses must obtain both a state and local liquor license. And that license must be renewed annually. And many of the approximately 65 businesses with active liquor licenses located on or near Bardstown Road have to renew their licenses each October 31st. Metro ABC has the discretion to deny a liquor license application or renewal, and they need to consider certain factors, one of which is public sentiment. And so, given the interest in this area in particular, we've created a new public survey entitled Public Sentiment Highlands that you can find directly on ABC's website. Director Silvera, thanks to you and your team for helping get this started and to hosting that on your website. And to be very clear, Metro ABC cannot deny a liquor license just because someone in the community protests it. The reasons and the quantity and the specificity of the protest matters. But your input will help the city gauge public sentiment and inform ABC's future decisions. We want to make sure to include information about public safety issues, any noise issues, traffic or transportation issues, or effects on other businesses in the area. So if you want to complete a survey to make your voice heard, to express your opinions, we ask you, please be as specific as possible on this new survey. To be clear, this is not a gotcha. This is not a social media comment section. This is to address real, repetitive, specific problems that we want to hear from the community. This survey that's online now will be available through September 15th. And I also know that this is not the only area of our town that is dealing with similar issues. So we've also created another survey that's on ABC's page where you can provide your opinions on any challenging institutions elsewhere throughout our entire city. That's on the ABC website too. And that will cover every neighborhood in our city. So our work will continue. We'll keep exploring legislative options at the state and local level, and we'll keep working hard. Our teams at LMPD, ABC, and my office, working in partnership with Metro Councilman Ben Reno Weber and others, we will continue to make sure that Bardstown Road is safe and that every neighborhood in our community is safe. Again, Major Brown, Director Silvera, thank you so much for you and your colleagues. I know you all have put in extra hours to address this issue, and your teams will continue to go to. And in terms of collaborating, we have had no better partner on this work than Councilman Ben Reno Weber, who is taking a very active role in working with Louisville Metro government departments, with his constituents, and with business owners up and down Bardstown Road. So now, I'd like to welcome Councilman Reno Weber to share a few words about his work and how we're working together moving forward. Councilman?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Appreciate so much all the work that you're doing in this initiative. I want to first give recognition to the community members and community groups who have been raising their voices and taking leadership roles in these issues for years now. Particular shout out to the Friends of Bardstown Road, to the Highland Commerce Guild, and to all the neighborhood associations all up and down Bardstown Road who have been saying we have had enough. We cannot let nighttime Bardstown Road hold daytime Bardstown Road hostage, to quote Ben Botkins. And I want to give another shout out to the amazing partnerships that we have had with LMPD and with ABC. You guys have been incredibly proactive in translating those voices, which have been raised for some time, into real and concrete actions. I firmly believe that it is only through engaging community proactively that we actually get to solutions that work for everybody. And this is a collaboration. I want to be super clear that my number one priority is having a vibrant, safe, and welcoming Bardstown Road. And we want people to come here, and we want to be sure that when they are here, they behave in a way that promotes our community, not destroys it. So I also want to recognize all of the business leaders, all up and down the district, who have been very willing to come to the table and talk about the issues of noise, the issues of vagrancy, of public drinking, that they see, and being very proactive in their willingness to cooperate around that. We also know that public safety is a public health issue, and that the most important interventions that we can do are upstream. Yes, we can ask LMPD to respond to a fight or an issue or a surge in activity that we don't want, but that's not really the point. The point is that people shouldn't feel the need to do that, and that's why I'm so grateful for our continued investments in housing and economic development. When you listen to Chief Humphrey say if he could wave a magic wand, what he would do, it would be $1 billion in investment in economic development so that the folks that he sees at the end of the line are not there because at the top they have hope and opportunity. So I just want to always bring it back to that. In this moment, I'm so excited about this new vector for bringing information in a way that can be actionable by ABC. So thank you all so much for your innovation. Thank you all for your continued partnership on this and so many other things. And we're grateful for the community for responding to this and letting us know, because in the past when we've had this information, we've been pretty successful at addressing hotspots, letting us know where we need to be focused. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilman Rena Weber. And we also want to introduce next a member of this community, someone who has owned multiple businesses along Bardstown Road, someone who has been a great voice of improving Bardstown Road and working collaboratively with the city, with the private sector, whether it's improving our road, improving the tree canopy, improving the parks, or improving the business conditions here, improving the life for residents, is a great colleague, someone who is working hard every day to improve this entire area. Local business owner, Ben Botkins. And resident, sorry.
Yeah, I'm the shorter Ben here, which is rare. Yeah, we're, for better or worse, we are a very active and vocal community, and we can be critical when things aren't working, and it's important that we're equally as vocal and energized when they are. And so when the mayor, councilman, head of ABC, Major, and Executive Director Wright, when you make a commitment a couple months ago to increase the presence and solve these acute issues, you did that. And the neighborhood talks and the leaders talk, and we meet, and we are happy to talk about how things have been less violent, and we're hearing a less chaotic corridor. So I want to acknowledge and say thanks to that. A wise Louisvillian said, public safety is what makes everything possible. And that's absolutely, those few words are exactly what we've needed to hear for a long time, and we can build off of that. And the cornerstone of that is clearly the 5th Division. And I want to do a better job of making sure that you feel appreciated and wanted and needed in this community. If public safety is the foundation, the police is the cornerstone to help make that happen. So your presence and enforcement is critical and a part of making this all work. So I'm also want to say that I'm very grateful for the ambassador program. I don't know that the streets have ever been cleaner. That uniform presence is something that we all talk about and makes the corridor feel more professional, put together, and that's a big win, and I hope that's something we can continue to have in years to come. And it's my understanding that the ABC is fully staffed for the first time in quite a long time. So I think that's something, when we talk about these issues, and again, we want to be critical, we need to celebrate when things are coming together. So I want to acknowledge that. And your leadership has echoed throughout the community, and people believe in what you're doing and that you have the backs of the residents. I want to speak just a little bit to the residential community, because that's really where my passion is. 33,000, that's the amount of people who live here. By population, that would be tied I think a three-way tie for the 7th largest city in the state. So for every one commercial property, there's hundreds of residences. This road for the last 10 years or so has been more of a chaotic liability for us than it's been a valuable asset. And for decades, it was a valuable asset. We are organized, we are motivated, we are ready to support. We will plant 400 more trees. We will do more public art. We will increase safety of crosswalks for Bloom Elementary and everyone else. We will fund, we will organize, we will streamline our voices for that. But we have to have and continue to have a robust public safety thing to build off of. And I trust that we'll continue to have that. It's critical, and I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that you all feel supported. I'm just one person here, as Ben said. There are a dozen organizations, hundreds of stakeholders, hundreds of leaders. I'm here today, but I'm sharing the sentiment of many. I said I had 2 to 3 minutes. I'm getting close here, but I have at least one meeting a day with a stakeholder, and it could be anyone from a senior resident, which by and large most of my neighbors are, or young families, or it could be a regional developer. And everyone's ready to help and invest further in this corridor. We just want to continue to see and build off of what the couple months have been. So my promise, my commitment remains that it has been for a quarter of my life, which is I will do everything. I will pull money together. We will make it all happen. Let's follow through. Let's keep building on what we've been working on the last couple of months. And you'll have all the advocacy and support to help give you a tailwind for that. So I appreciate it very much. You're welcome.
Thank you so much to both Bens. Really appreciate that. And, this starts, as Ben just mentioned, from the community. This is to improve the quality of the neighborhood here for the residents who live here, from the residents from around the city and region and country that enjoy Bardstown Road. And so we really appreciate Ben and all the other community members who have spoken up, who are willing to collaborate with us here. That's what it's all about. It's all about this collaboration to move Louisville forward in an exciting new future. And that's what we're doing every day. So thanks again to you, to your colleagues here. Thanks to folks who continue to reach out when we have challenges in other parts of the community, as I started my comments with this morning. And we are excited about the future of Bardstown Road. We're excited about the future of the Highlands and the future of all of our neighborhoods across the city. And with that, happy to take any questions from members of the media about this or any other topic. Yes.
This is a topic on the case, but do you have any concerns about the judge's previous decision to grant incarceration, meaning that his 14-year sentence wasn't?
So the question was about the incident that I mentioned early on, where an individual earlier or at the end of last week at knife point and machete point kidnapped a mother and 2 daughters, took her to a bank and then robbed a bank, took money and fled. And again, I want to start by thanking the officers that respond quickly and were able to apprehend this individual shortly thereafter by the end of the day. That was great work from a community providing information and our law enforcement responding to that. This individual was released from jail after about 4 months into a 14-year sentence for another violent crime. That's troubling. That's concerning. And so that is something that, yes, that we are going to continue to look at. We're going to continue to work with members of the judicial branch and the judges on how we can bring transparency to some of that. Are there local or state rules that need to change? When individuals commit violent crimes in this community, there need to be consequences. And in this case, clearly the consequence was not enough, and we saw what happened. So that was a disappointment, but we will figure out how we build on this to prevent something from like this from happening again.
You had mentioned that Ben mentioned that now ABC is fully staffed. How many people is that? How many staff are that?
Hello, sir. Your question was about the staffing level at ABC. Under our current budget, we're at 12 enforcement investigators, and we have 6 in the licensing staff, not counting the my position as the director, and I have a deputy director as well.
Cases is each of the inspectors is typically doing that?
It varies based. No, so the question again, I'm sorry, I got to get used to repeating the question. So the question is, how many cases on average do they have? And it varies because they're all assigned by police division. For example, somebody that has a lesser division, we have one of my investigators or detectives is assigned to Homeland Security as a task force officer. So they have some other duties in addition to their ABC duties. So one of the things about ABC, and I think I've talked to a couple people this morning, is I think until we made the arrest on the copper theft situation, I don't think some people understood that we were a functioning police department. We just have a different role, and how we handle things. We're specialized. We handle a lot of I'd say up to 20 different license types, and my detectives are they're very focused, and we can dedicate a lot of resources to one problem and get it solved pretty quick.
Will your office put on this survey when deciding future license?
So the question is about how much weight on the survey, and this is the first time that we've taken the initiative to reach out and ask before somebody renews their license, give us the feedback, because if you kind of look back, and I'm not going to mention specific locations or the situations that have happened because I want to stay kind of clear of that, but it's heavy weighted because like one of the Bens said a little bit ago is I give a lot of weight to what the citizens around there think, because honestly they have the right to be secure in their homes. Now that I don't want to say that I don't believe that businesses I want them to be so successful they make the most money possible, but not at the expense of the safety of our people. And so I'm going to give it every weight, but sometimes under the law and the scheme as it's written, just because somebody doesn't like it doesn't mean it rises to the level that I have the ability to deny the license, if that makes sense. So I'm going to call them. I'm going to do every thing I can to communicate and find out what can be changed, because a lot of times David James and the mayor and Ron Hetty and all of the executive directors that I've been working with, Misty has been phenomenal at running our safety program and keeping things together. We're picking up the phone and calling people and talking to them about the problems. I like I said, I'm not going to try to mention the specific locations that we're having some problems with, but I'd say 1% or less have been the focus. Most of them do great. They don't have any problems. We don't hear about them, and that's what I hope it stays at. But when we do have a problem, I'm going to call them and talk to them about the problem. We're going to send enforcement investigators to go talk to them. We've been in lockstep with LMPD. I've never seen it like this with us, where we're working, Major Brown and I, we talk weekly. His Lieutenant Silverblatt, we talk, I'm serious, at 9 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock in the morning. We're talking about problems in the community. So if I can tell you, I know it was a long-winded answer to your question, but we are going to take it as serious as we can. And it doesn't mean that we're going to be able to deny a renewal on a license, but it's going to start the conversation.
I just want to add one thing to that real quick.
Yes, sir.
And just add one thing to what Director Silvera said. I mean, we want this to be a thriving neighborhood. We want there to be great restaurants. We want there to be great retail outlets, and we want it to be a great neighborhood as well. And so that requires balance, and that's the key here, to have a balanced neighborhood that has all of those attributes to get to where we were in the past, as Ben said, about a thriving mixed-use neighborhood that many other neighborhoods aspire to be. Oh, one more question, then Roberto.
Yeah, one of the questions on the survey is about the hours of businesses, bars, establishments. Where do you stand on that right now? Are you still looking to?
The question was about where do we stand on the hours of operation of the bars. I mean, that's something that right now I think we've been effective at improving the situation without making changes to when bars close. But that's something that will, I think, remain on the table, that there are a lot of conversations between Councilman Reno Weber and his colleagues, not just in this neighborhood, but that in many neighborhoods. And so I think the community will see that as a conversation happening over the months to come. We want to hear what the community thinks about that as well. Roberto.
Can you speak about some of the other things outside of just resident complaints that you're going to have to take into account when it comes to looking at a license renewal? Obviously, some of them were returned. The state said You all have used power in the past, denying a liquor license. So what are some of the other things besides just people?
Yeah, so the question was about other than neighborhood complaints when looking to deny a license. Again, we are not looking to deny licenses. We want to approve licenses. We want this to be a thriving neighborhood for restaurants, bars. We want them to make money. We want their patrons to have the best time of their lives on Bardstown Road in our city. We do hospitality wonderfully in our community. We just want it to be safe and want it to be by the rules. So there are going to be issues related to noise and what the impact on noise, not within the restaurant or bar, but outside, what that does to the surrounding neighborhoods. Does that violate noise ordinances? Are there impacts to our transportation or traffic issues? Are there repetitive and specific public safety issues that continue to happen as a result of action at a particular establishment? All of those are going to be issues that Director Silvera and his team consider as they're reviewing that. This is not a social media comment section. This is very specific feedback that we are looking for that goes to the question of public safety.
Owners about whether this increased police presence is either positively or negatively affecting the business?
Yeah, please.
The question is, have we heard from business owners about whether the increased presence of public safety officials has impacted them or how they feel about it? Yes, we've heard from a lot of business owners. And the overwhelming message is, please, we love having a presence here. We love having somebody to call, and also recognizing that that isn't always because they want a police response. They want a police response when it's appropriate to have a police response. But, one of the big issues that we have had is the increase in people experiencing street homelessness. And we want somebody to be able to respond to that appropriately with mental health engagement, with increased beds for not just shelters, but also supportive housing. And people's willingness to feel comfortable making that call is also about understanding that the right response is going to come. So, one of the things that we've talked about is recognizing that the world has shifted and that business owners all along this corridor welcome that uniformed presence. We had a couple of, actually, you might be able to speak to some of the things that you've had talking to people who you felt like were not interested in being part of the solution. You want to speak to that real quick or no?
I'll speak.
Okay.
No, it's true. I mean, everyone's coming to the table. Neighborhood associations are organizing in ways that they've largely just stayed neutral. Everyone wants to be a part of solving all of these issues and sit down with folks or departments or other orgs that they haven't in the past. It's in all the years I've been doing this, I've never seen a more motivated, constituent base in all levels, from folks renting apartments to long-term residents, stakeholders, developers, everybody. I will say on the data question that you're asking, I can not speak for all 33,000 people in the neighborhood, but I'm pretty sure I can paraphrase and say that we do not want a single bar open, another one being issued past midnight. We cannot have any more late night bars. We've got all that we can have for eternity. And that's the most demoralizing thing we could have is another late night license. So we are maxed out on that front.
That people in the community will see what will happen to them.
Oh, I think the question was about what do we anticipate seeing. I think thanks to the work of LMPD, ABC, all of this collaboration that you're seeing right now, the neighbors, the business owners that are all working together for the first time in years, I think what you're going to see is a drastically improved Bardstown Road. You're already seeing a cleaner Bardstown Road. That will continue to improve. Our goal is for an even more vibrant Bardstown Road, where all of the storefronts are full, where there are thriving businesses, retail outlets, restaurants that people are coming to during the day and at night, and it's all being done safely. That, I think, is our shared vision for this neighborhood and every neighborhood in Louisville.
With this survey, did you look at other cities or neighborhoods and other places who might have dealt with some similar issues who, based on the results, with this?
So in designing this survey, we looked at the statutory framework that governs the issuance of licenses at the state and local level and looked at the factors that someone can permissibly consider in order to renew or issue a new license. And we incorporated those factors into the survey. We're not aware of another jurisdiction that has done something like this. So we worked together to figure out how this is going to work. And in doing so, we communicated with, a couple of months ago, business owners and community leaders to find out their opinions, and in so doing learned that we needed to get more opinions from other people. So we are seeking information about both positive and negative about businesses that sell and serve liquor in the area, tagged to those statutory factors that ABC can permissibly consider in deciding whether to issue or renew a license. And we're also trying to get information about congestion of retail and bar and nightclub type of establishments on Bardstown Road, and also opinions on late night service of alcohol.
Survey is continuous. How's that work?
The survey is going to be ongoing. However, we're encouraging people to fill it out by September 15th in order to allow our ABC director to be able to consider those opinions when considering the renewing licenses that are currently active.
I'll just say in conclusion that this is the way we are approaching challenges here at Metro government these days. Is when there is an issue that pops up, we listen. We had some great meetings with members of the community, business owners and residents, none of whom were shy, who gave very specific feedback on what the challenges are and what they saw as opportunities for improvement. And our team, working collaboratively with Councilman Reno Weber, his colleagues, folks throughout our administration, we figured out what we needed to do more of and what we needed to do that we had not done before to address the issue, to make improvements. And that's what you see here. You see true collaboration. You see our agencies giving more attention to an area that there was attention for, just clearly not enough. You see us doing new things like a survey, using all the tools that we have available to address a challenge and make improvements for residents of our community. We're really excited about the future of Bardstown Road. I'm really excited about what's going on all across our city. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, and have a wonderful day and week. Thank you.